Since Harbor Freight came out with their roadshock 6 series LED lights, I have personally tested that against the Baja Design's LP6 series. Since then, there were more tools acquired to test more aspects of the light, specifically a drone to show you a straightforward comparison between the lights in terms of the light pattern outputs, and a thermal camera to show you how each light dissipates the heat and their heat degradation performance. Is the Harbor Freight any good in terms of light output, light pattern, and heat degradation? I'm going to test all of them in this video so that you have an idea how they compare to each other. You can decide for yourself whether you want to spend $500 on a single piece of LP6 Baja Designs or $150 on this Harbor Freight light. I'm also including the vmax 7-inch LED light from Auxbeam in this comparison. This is a very close competitor of the Baja Designs LP6 and the Harbor Freight. In my opinion, they represent the best LED lights out there with a sight shooting function in this size. Here, I'm measuring the lux output about 20 feet away from the garage door. For this test, you can see the pattern difference, the output difference, and I'm also going to keep the lights running for 15 minutes and measure the lux output again so that you see whether there is a drop or not. 5526 for Auxbeam. Alright, for Baja, $82.35 lux. Alright, this is the Harbor Freight. This is Harbor Freight, 6,253 lux. So here I'm stacking the pictures on top of each other so you have a straightforward comparison. The Auxbeam seems a little on the greenish side, while the Harbor Freight and Baja Designs both have a little warmer temperature. Harbor Freight has the widest beam angle pointed here. See in the front of the tree on the ground, there is a lot more illumination for Harbor Freight, and Auxbeam is the second in terms of the beam width. They're both better than Baja Designs. There's one thing Baja Designs does much better than the other two lights in my opinion, is that it has a very evenly lit pattern. As you see here in the middle right next to the hotspot, Baja Designs has more of a smeared or more even illumination. Instead of a defined line, it's evenly lit so that in the field or on a road application, you don't see a very defined hotspot. In my opinion, this is very good and easy to your eyes at night. So now I'm going to measure the temperature of the light and keep all of them on for 15 minutes and then see what the temperature increase gonna be like. I have my thermal camera right here. Auxbeam is negative 15 degrees Celsius. So is the Harbor Freight. So is the Baja Design. Alright, let's turn them on for 15 minutes, all of them. Oh, actually, they're actually a lot hotter in the back. Negative 9 degrees for Baja. Negative 12, negative 11 degrees for Auxbeam, and negative 7 for Harbor Freight. Okay, I'm gonna turn them on. On. Alright, so all of them are on. Hella bright. But on thermal camera, it's we'll see how they do. I'm gonna start my timer. Look, they're definitely heating up. So right now, the back of Baja Design is 20 degrees. The back of the Auxbeam is 11. And then the back of the Harbor Freight is 32. So see, Auxbeam has the lowest temperature out of the bunch. Hottest spot will be in the back of the light. 32, 22, and 10th. I was going to do a degradation test. I'm still gonna do it, but I don't know how much of an effect it has being 32 degrees versus freezing, because 32 isn't really that high. I might have to redo the test in the summer. We'll see. All right, Harbor Freight, after it's been on for for 15 minutes. Okay, we still got 6,000 lux. Alright, Baja. After being on for 15 minutes, 8,500 lux. 21. 8,600 lux. Alright, I got Auxbeam after being on for 15 minutes. Oh, 509. 5,900 lux. Did I not measure it right? 5,900 lux. Alright, here's the data. After being on for 15 minutes, Auxbeam temperature increased from -11 to +11, which is a 22 degrees increase in Celsius. Harbor Freight light increased from -7 to +32, which is a 39 degrees increase in Celsius. Baja Design's LP6 increased from -9 to 20 degrees Celsius, which is a 29 degree increase. According to this data, Harbor Freight increased a lot more than Auxbeam and Baja Designs, which means that Harbor Freight's heat dissipation function is not as efficient as Auxbeam nor Baja Designs, while Auxbeam has the edge over Baja Designs. What really fascinates me is that for Auxbeam and Baja Designs, their output lux number actually increased after being ran for 15 minutes. However, the Harbor Freight's output decreased slightly. Because the Auxbeam only reached up to 11 degrees Celsius and the Baja Designs to 20 degrees Celsius, that leads me to believe that the optimal operating temperature for Baja Designs and Auxbeam has not been reached and is higher than what they were measured to, which I'm guessing is around 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. However, for Harbor Freight, once it starts to pass 30 degrees Celsius in temperature, the performance is starting to drop a little bit. This is why I mentioned earlier that I'm going to repeat this test in the summertime, so that when the ambient temperature is around 20 to 30 degrees Celsius, the temperature of the light hopefully goes way up to like 60 or 70 degrees Celsius. Then we can really see which light performs better in a higher temperature setting. Now we're come to the field. I'm using the drone to film the comparison in manual setting, which means the exposure color temperature will stay consistent between the lights so that you have a very straightforward comparison in terms of the brightness and the light output pattern. As you see just now, I started to show you the Tacoma stock LED low beam and high beam so that you have a baseline of what the stock lights look like. Any light that's being turned on is labeled on the top of the screen. I'm going to toggle between 3 lights so that you have a better idea in terms of light pattern and output. Alright, pausing here at Harbor Freight. What I like about the light is that it has a super wide beam angle. As you see, that most right orange cone is being illuminated much brighter than the other 2 lights. What I dislike about the light is there is a visible dark spot or dark line, 45 degrees going both ways. And the spot beam is a little weaker compared to Auxbeam and Baja Designs. What I like about the Baja Designs is that it's super bright even at distance, and also it has a very evenly spread or a very seamless transition from the hotspot to the peripheral area, as pointed out here. What I dislike about the Baja Design LP6 is that the sight shooting function is very weak. It's the narrowest comparing to the other 2 competitors. Auxbeam's 7-inch vmax light is the cheapest of the 3. However, its spot beam in the middle is just as strong as Baja Design's LP6, and its beam width is even wider than the Baja Designs, very close to Harbor Freight. The only area that I think needs a little bit more work is the area next to the hotspot. Unlike Baja Design's LP6, this Auxbeam has a very distinct cutoff between the hotspot and dark spot. Here I place the drone right behind the vehicle so that you have a first-person view. To me, both Auxbeam and Baja Designs does a very similar job. The only difference is this area pointed out here. Baja Designs does a better job in terms of filling that area with light. Harbor Freight almost have a 180-degree light illumination in front of the vehicle. So this last angle is from up top, right above the vehicle. This shows you the difference in terms of the light coverage, beam width, and the beam angle. I'm adding a dashed line on the right side of the vehicle to help you see the difference. Hopefully by now I already showed you so that you are convinced that the Harbor Freight has the widest angle, almost 180-degree coverage in front of the vehicle. However, if you still want best bang for your bucks, I would say Auxbeam actually does it pretty well. At $100 a piece, it's doing 70 to 80% of what Baja Design's LP6 is doing, minus that little blackout area, but at 1/5 or 20% of the cost. But if you're looking for that one light does it all in terms of the maximum illumination angle without the need of a ditch light, I would recommend Harbor Freight. Or if budget is never a consideration to you, I would say go with 4 of them, having 2 facing front and then 2 angled to the sides. That will be the non-compromised setup, $2,000 just for the lights. So which one do you prefer? The non-compromised Baja Design LP6 setup or the budget setup from either Auxbeam or Harbor Freight? Please leave a comment below. I'm going to put the links of each product in my description so that you can check them out and even purchase them if you want. That will help me out greatly. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.